Our last session of today is dedicated to the topic of education and economic issue. For us, CIHEAM, this is a very important topic, as you can imagine, because our original mission is to train the leaders in the agri-food sector of the member countries. So for us, it's very important to know the needs in education and economic issues for women empowerment and innovation. And I have the pleasure to welcome as chair to Yasmine Seghirate. It's a very important person for us because she's in Paris in the General Secretariat of the CIHEAM, and she's in charge of communication and two of all the aspects related to women empowerment. So I'm going to give you the floor, Yasmine. Et c'est un plaisir de t'avoir ici toujours. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, thank you, Raoul. Hello to everybody. I'm Yasmine Seghirate, and I'm really delighted to moderate this session on education and economic issues because it's really the utmost importance because nothing that has been discussed before and that will be discussed tomorrow can be achieved without educations. And I will tell you why I say educations in the plural with an S and the economic level. So we'll try to be very efficient, but it's hard to have a session after lunch, but I think it's harder to have the last session of the day. And many things have already been said about education, about training, but we'll try to do it very, very dynamic, and we count on you to ask some questions and to intervene. Why I was saying it's very important to talk about education with a S. I don't even know if in English it's correct, but because we are speaking about many kind of education, plural education. Education is diverse, evolving. It must be, of course, adapted to the context, life paths, aspirations of the women, and the transition currently underway in our Mediterranean region. So formal education for women has indeed made significant progress if we look at the history, the last 50 years. And now today, additional training in fields such as sustainable agriculture, agroecology, water management, food processing are, of course, in the rise. But many of these women, particularly in the rural areas, continue to face major access to constraints. It has been said many times. Trainings are often too far away, inflexible, and they're not suited to their daily life and their daily realities. So just let me also to offer you a little provocative thought, because we celebrate and the growing number of women entering in agriculture, food-related or life science fields. We're happy because where women are involved, there is often a greater attention paid to sustainability, to quality, and it ties to local communities. But why are these fields becoming less attractive for men, to men? What does this growing gender imbalance tell us? Are other sectors, such as finance, digital technologies, seen as more prestigious or more lucrative than these sectors we are talking about? So these questions really deserve to be raised because it touches on how our economic systems are structured and what they value or what they don't value. Another key challenge is the digital transition. How can we ensure that women are not left out from the enormous opportunities created today by the digital revolution? What needs to be done to get girls in rural areas massively involved in STEAM, so science, technology, engineering, in mathematics? It's fundamental. We must also question how knowledge is recognized, because accredited trainings tend to emphasize women agriculture techniques, cooperative management, food safety standards, or irrigation systems. But what about other kinds of knowledge, often held by women? The transmission of culinary heritage, climate resilience practices, agricultural landscape knowledge and preservation are essential competencies, but they remain undervalued. The feminization of agriculture is advancing. That's good news also. But under what conditions does this trend allow women to earn a decent living? Is it allowed to innovate? Or is it instead a reflection of male withdrawal or increasing precariousness in the sector in agriculture? So education and employment are, of course, really deeply intertwined. Despite remarkable progress in women's schooling, the unemployment rate among female graduates remain extremely high. In the Middle East and North Africa region, we have a large pool of underutilized talent, women talents, with the highest youth unemployment rates in the world and the lowest female labor forces participation. Quality jobs characterized by attractive remuneration or formal status remain rare, while private employment remains largely low value added. So why is that? What have we missed in the education and job nexus? So of course we have the glass ceiling, or sometimes you can also call it the maternal wall, because it still hinders careers. Social norms, unequal caregiving responsibilities, and again, inadequate public support for childcare, continue to weigh heavily on women's professional trajectory. In many Mediterranean countries, access to public nurseries, school meals, after-school programs is still limited or non-existent. And we know that in rural areas, we often lack of public services altogether. So how can we expect that women under such conditions can fully capitalize on their education and participate the best way possible in the economic life? So for example, at CIHEAM, where we train more and more every year women, they represent the majority of our students. And it would be, for example, interesting for us to analyze their career after 10 years, after 20 years, see what professions they occupy, at what level they are, how many are unemployed, and how many have abandoned their careers plans. And perhaps if we make this exercise, if actors in education make this exercise, we can propose adaptations to our training courses. And it's important to involve and to integrate these issues in our future proposal of programs in terms of training. So sorry, I was just putting the context so we can discuss this with our wonderful panelists. That I will just to tell you how we will proceed, like the session before. I will give the floor to each of you 5 minutes just to say a word about your organization and the field of work, and some key initiatives and program or research you are currently involved in. It's important because we need to understand from where you are talking, from where you are speaking, and what is your background. Then we will have an open discussion with the 2-round questions, some general for all of you, and other specific questions for you. Before I start giving you the floor, I will just say a word about our participants, our speakers. So I will present first Margarita Rico. She's connected online. Hello, Margarita.
Hello.
Hello. So Margarita is the professor at the Higher Technical School of Agricultural Engineering in Palencia, Universities of Valladolid. Her research focuses on various lines related to the socioeconomic aspects of rural areas, with particular emphasis on issues of economics and gender. She has also worked in other areas related to agricultural and rural multifunctionality and the potential for development through rural tourism, agri-food products, and forest resources, as well as in the evaluation of rural development policies. So she's currently the national coordinator for Spain of the European project Grass Sailing. which focuses on innovation and women in the agricultural sector. So welcome, Margarita. We have Dina Raouf. She's a deputy director and director of fundraising and external relations, Department of the Association of Upper Egypt for Education and Development. And she volunteers also as the Secretary General of the National Egyptian Development Organization. So Dina has 35 years of experience in the field of development with donors organizations, NGOs. She has a solid background on and hands-on experience in participatory organizational development, particularly building NGOs' capacity to lead community development work through community needs, assessment, strategic planning, program design, and mobilization of community and external resources. She has also 25 years of experience in fundraising for development programs and building donor relations with more than national and international organizations. On my right, I have Professor Sonia Boudiche. She's a faculty member at the Department of Food Science and Engineering at the Higher School of Agro-Food Industry of Tunis, Université of Carthage in Tunisia. She serves as the coordinator of the Agro-Food Management and Innovative Project Engineering Master's Program. You are head of the Food Tech Business Incubator and the director of the Certification of Competencies and Career Center, 4C. So since 1997, you teach courses in microeconomics, macroeconomics, agri-food economics, food consumption, food security, also entrepreneurship, so very large domain of teaching. And you were a CIAM Saragossa alumni. We have online Auntie Bruma. Hello, Auntie, do you hear us?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Auntie is Deputy Regional Coordinator at the Global Water Partnership Mediterranean, so the GWP Med. With more than 24 years of professional and academic experience, Auntie has worked on water governance, policy and financing, and natural resources management at national, regional, sub-regional, and transboundary levels in the Mediterranean. In partnership with different kinds of partners like UFM, European Union, UN agencies. You had led also and served more than 15 regional projects funded by multilateral actors. And you've been leading the Global Water Partnership Network in the Middle East and North Africa region. So, and Auntie, you have a political scientist background by education. And we welcome you also in this session. So last but not least, I will present also Patrizia Pugliese, who is the rapporteur of this session. So she's here. Patrizia is agroeconomist, senior researcher and development official at CIAM Bari. She has a PhD in policies for sustainable development, Masters of Science in rural resources and countryside management. She's involved since more 25 years in research, training, and development cooperation work on rural development, sustainable and organic agriculture in European Union and development in developing countries. Since 19... sorry. Bon, she's a member of the CIAM Bari Secretariat of the Mediterranean Organic Agriculture Network, the MOAN network, very important network, and she's a focal point for CIAM Bari Institute in our working groups, gender working groups, and responsible also for CIAM Bari of the grass sealing project that we'll mention many times, I think, during this session. So sorry, I've been speaking too much. Now I will give the floor to your short statement. You have 5-8 minutes maximum to really go through what you want to say about your organization and the key domains you are working on. So we will start with Margarita online. You have the floor, and you will share from your side the PowerPoints.
I'm going to share. Okay. So, right, can you see it? Okay, can you see my screen? I can't listen to you.
I can see it, Margarita.
Okay, thanks so much.
I don't know if the other colleagues can see it. I'm online.
Thanks so much. Okay, hello everyone, and first of all, thanks so much, CIHEAM and Raouf, for inviting me to participate in this interesting and necessary symposium about gender and rural areas. I'm so sorry that I'm not there in Zaragoza with you today, but health problems haven't allowed me to travel this morning. So I'm here from home, and I would like to share with you some insights about training, economy, innovation, and women in the Spanish agricultural sector. I will also tell you something about our experience in the grass seeding project. Okay. Grass seeding is an European project coordinated by Sally Shortall. I think she's over there today in Zaragoza. And the project works to support and give visibility to women innovators in agriculture and rural areas. This project is a large international or European consortium with 9 countries over all Europe, North, South, and Central. And in Spain, we are focusing on farmers' women in the north of the country. It's a territory very depopulated and very aging too. If you want more information about the project, you can visit the website Grass Seeding EU. Okay. In grass seeding, we are using the living labs as a working method. A living lab, as you know, is a space where different stakeholders work together to co-create solutions to real problems. In Spain, our living labs includes 8 women farmers and livestock breeders, some male farmers, people from public administrations, rural and farmers associations, innovation experts and researchers, and technicians from local action groups. Okay, as I said, our living lab focuses on 3 regions of the north of Spain, Aragon, where you are there now, in Zaragoza, Asturias, and Castilla y León. These are very rural and depopulated areas. And we have found many challenges for women in agriculture. For example, to share some numbers. In Spain, only 28% of farm holders are women. And in some of our regions, for instance, in Aragon, only 21% of the holders are women, and in Castilla y León, only 23%. Also, these women usually manage smaller farms, and the farms often have lower economic size. And women are underrepresented in cooperatives. For example, you can see there are some data. For example, in Spain, only the members, the women members of cooperatives are 28%, but only 9.6% are in the executive board, and only 4.5% are in the presidency of the cooperative. And women are underrepresented in other type of decision-making bodies, as for example in associations or so on. So at this point, in the Spanish Living Lab, we are working now on what we call the innovation journey of the women, and we are analyzing what drives innovation, what barriers women face of different type of barriers, for example, personal, professional, rural, and governance barriers. We are analyzing also what kinds of support are available or missing for rural and farmers women, and the role of the ACIs to support women. And our objective, our final goal, is to identify strategies that can really help women to innovate and to be leaders, to lead in the agriculture sector. And okay, later I'm going to have the chance to speak deeper related to these topics.
Yeah, thank you very much, Margarita. And I invite all of you to have a look to the website, which is very well well presented, and you find a lot of information. Thank you very much. Now I will give the floor to Dina, so she can tell us a little bit about the Association of Upper Egypt for Education and Development.
Can you hear me? Okay. So the Association of Upper Egypt for Education and Development is an Egyptian NGO. Yeah. Thank you. I don't think this is working. Yeah. It's an Egyptian NGO established in 1940 and has been running since then. And one of the first civil society organizations in Egypt, and very well reaching out for many villages. We work in more than 200 villages all along the Nile, from Minya, Asyut, Sohag, Ena, and Luxor. That part is Upper Egypt, the southern part of Egypt. The association is involved in 6 main programs: formal education, non-formal education, health and disability, cultural development, skills development, microfinance, and reaching out to around 30,000 beneficiaries. In the formal and non-formal education, I'll focus on a couple of programs in my presentation. We run 35 formal schools and 16 non-formal schools, call them parallel schools, as well as many non-formal education activities for mainly girls and women, with the percentage of average percentage of girls in those schools exceeding 50%, and in the formal schools around 45%. So we work with 15,000 children in education. This is the villages mainly that we work in, some pictures from the villages. And we believe in women empowerment, to build their capacities, to gain self-confidence, to have inner strength and resilience to manage their own lives and expand, have access to knowledge, skills, and expand to new horizons in their future. So talking about aspects of education, several aspects of education. The first one and the basic one is basic reading and writing and mathematics skills for women. Many women are still not knowing how to read and write, and to think about digital connection is another level. I mean, their knowledge of human rights, of the women's rights, and how to keep a safe environment, protect themselves, building their life skills, building self-confidence, inner strength, and resilience, building entrepreneurship skills to manage their own business, or even to get employed by others in decent employment, and having access to resources, funds, new skills, production tools, new technologies, or new markets. So these are the mainly aspects of women empowerment. And when we focus on life skills, we allow women to get in contact with their own self, to build their self-confidence, to build their self-respect, and to have inner strength to deal with her family, the community, to build healthy relationships, to deal with challenges and negative views of women in the community, traditional views on the roles of women, to build analytical skills to understand their own situation and deal in a suitable way on the social and economic and take proper decisions in those fields. The other aspect is the entrepreneurship skills training that we provide for women. And here we started with a couple of Spanish projects that followed one another. The one was in partnership with our Fundación Promoción Social. Our partners are here, and with funding from the Spanish Cooperation on building entrepreneurship, especially in the tourism sector. That started in 2021, and the other project in 2022. And now we are also involved in a convenio with our partners. So we built, I mean, the best practices through the 3 projects, looking about what does it mean to be part of a value chain, how to be an entrepreneur, how to assess their own product or service. Some of them produce handicrafts or do a service to the community, how to assess all the aspects of the project, how to create a concrete project idea and the business model for the project, do a SWOT analysis and a feasibility study and a market study, and set a concrete action plan for the project, like dealing with the authorities, for example, how to deal with the different partners and people involved in the community. And then how to access the marketing. The marketing is very important, whether to do it in-person marketing or digital marketing. Some women have, young women in particular, have the skill to have mobile phones, so how to do digital marketing. The other aspect is how to improve the production. And the production means a lot of vocational training and handicrafts, production skills in dairy products and food products. And in the hospitality sector, we have a small training center supported by our partners in Spanish Corporation and FPS to train young people in the hospitality sector, as in culinary arts, in restaurant service and front office and maintenance. And this is a couple of pictures from the training we do in Upper Egypt, in Minya and in Luxor. So we have the center in Minya, and we have a partnership with EGOS in Luxor. Luxor is a public institute, but we have a partnership to use their center there. And in the product development, there are 3 levels of product development. How women can think of her product not as a handicraft that she has the skill or traditional skill to do, but going to the next level, how to think of themselves as business owners, as marketers of their projects, and to think about the needs of the customers, to find new opportunities for marketing, and to adapt to customers' needs and experiences, to understand what are the trends of colors, materials, styles, to plan a product range, not just scattered items, and to think about pricing and quality, how to think about matching both price and quality, and to expand and scale up. That's one aspect in the training, and we have an expert with us in that field who is really well informed in the international level, not just the level of Egypt. And the other aspect is doing visits, like to the museum, to top-end producers, to even going on trips to see the scenery and build their imagination. And also the technical support, the one-to-one technical support is very important, because they need like mentorship along the way, not just one-time training. So that's very important to give them feedback on their products. One story related to the microfinance and linking it with agriculture product is the story of one lady from Kombuha, is in Asyut in the middle of Egypt, and she's producing a traditional product from wheat. It's called kishk. Kishk is they bring the wheat and they dry it and grind it and mix it with kefir and make these balls. And if you can see the balls here, and keep it as a food for the whole year. I mean, this is the storage of the families in poor communities. They sell it to their neighbors and they keep it as a storage for the whole year. So it is like food for the poor from their local agriculture. The other story is linked to one of our pioneers, Amani. Amani is in fact, she was involved in one of the projects as a local coordinator, and she knew a lot of women handicraft producers, and she kept the relationship with them. And when she heard about the project we are managing, she joined. She applied for the training, applied for the small loan, and created her own brand. Her brand is called ESIAT, and she's leading a group of many women now. It started as 10 women, now many women in the producers of handicrafts, and she's doing the marketing and the online and in events. Like she joined one of the major events, marketing events, exhibitions in Egypt called Turathna, with the support of the project. And she went to another level to have the leadership training in the following project to really give the support, not just to the group of women she's helping to produce, but also to the local community, to the kids in the schools, to other people from the local community. And that's her Facebook page. You can see the Rasiat Facebook page. You can visit anytime. So these are just two models of many successful women that the projects helped to reach another level of producing and marketing their own products, and some of them are doing a service too. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Very impressive. You cover all the steps, the different steps for women empowerment. And I'm sure we will have a lot of interest in the participants. At least at CIHEAM, we would be very interested to follow this cooperation. The Secretary General confirmed. Thank you. So next, I will give the floor to Sonia. Also, she has an impressive presentation. So please, Sonia, you have the floor.
So hello, everybody. First of all, I want to thank CIHEAM, EMZ, Yasmine, Ramzi, Emna, Raoul, all people for giving me this opportunity to share with you our experience and participate to this important seminar.
Sorry, Sonia,
Huh?
can you, yeah, the mic. Thank you.
I must.
For the translators.
So, I will present for you our experience, which is the experience of the Agro-Food Incubator, a food tech to support women empowerment in the field of agriculture, agro-food sector, and related sectors, services. So we will begin presenting you the national policy of innovation and the training for women empowerment, our network of agriculture incubators, and the experience of food tech and the CATSI Center in ESIAT. First of all, the mapping of women empowerment and the ecosystem in Tunisia. We can notice that there is a lot of actors. We have public institutions represented by AVFA, which is the National Agency for Vulgarization. We have the Bureau for Supporting Rural Women. We have from Ministry of Employment, ANITI. We have APIA. We have in the private sector also, we have a lot of structures in that microfinance. We have entrepreneurs, the next woman in Tunisia, which gives grants, coaching and support. We have the great importance of civil society in Tunisia who are working in social inclusion. We have the participation of the German cooperation represented by the GIZ organization, which is very present in food sector and which is finance a lot of rural women projects. We have also FAO programs and many other. We have the Solidar economic system also. And we have also the incubator and networks represented by the agency of supporting investments in Tunisia. Women empowerment achievement are very important. And you say that Tunisia is the first country in the region, Arabic region, which gave to women many rights, mainly education. Since our independency, schools are constructed in all regions. Education was mandated. It is obligatory to register girls even in rural regions. This ecosystem, we can reach that 53% of projects are led by women. 56% of projects financed by Tunisian Bank of Solidarity are given to women. 70% of beneficiaries of training and internship programs are women. But we can notice that there is a lot of limits, a lot of problems, a lot of challenges, because disparities are also present between men and women. Although these structures and this organization projects haven't unified vision, the majority of programs and projects are short-term action. Projects held by women are traditional projects, and they are low value-added projects. And at the same time, we note that there is a higher failure rate of women-led SMEs, 40% of business failed between 2000, these 3 years. At the social and economic issues, we can also notice that there is a high employment rate affecting mainly women. It is caused by the unstable context post-revolution, when we see that the rate of employment in women is reaching 30%. Although we have more than 90% rate of literacy in women in Tunisia. The highest level of female graduates in Tunisia is the highest in the world. We can see in the Gender Report 2023 that Tunisia, it is ranked the first with the female graduates who are employed. We can see that we have 54 engineering schools in Tunisia, 80,000 graduates per year, but we have 46% of engineers employed. There is a great problem, and this problem is present in high graduated female than other level of education. Problems: mismatch between the skills offered and needs of the agricultural sector, dominance of SMEs that are not creating jobs, and lack of entrepreneurship among young women graduates. So there is a need of a new generation of women entrepreneurship, and a new type of education which must be more vocational than theoretical education. The support system for new project leaders are made by APIA, ANETI, and the credit mechanisms which is put from these last years. For the case of National Network of Agriculture Business Incubators, it was a decree of President in 2002 to create these incubators in the universities. The objective is that the persons, women or men, who are hosted in the incubators could benefit of laboratories in these schools, could benefit of coaching of professors, of researchers, and it is a possibility to apply the results of research in agriculture or agri-food and in innovative projects. So all women who are hosted in the incubator could benefit of all these services. From this decree, there is 7 agriculture business. They are generalized in all the country, from the north to the south, and they have different specialities. This difference of specialties, the objective is to cover the majority of topics or of type of projects that can rural women make in its region. So our objective is to develop local value chains, is to valorize animal and vegetal products which are in each region of Tunisia. Which is our mission in that national network? So it's to raise the awareness and develop entrepreneurship culture and identification of projects ideas, because we have many women who came to the incubator, but the idea, it isn't innovative. We try to explain for them that there is a legal problem, that there is problem of technology or problem of marketing. So our mission is to reformulate the idea and to make the idea more with more value added finally. And then our objective is to put them in relation with the administrative structure, to help them with the finance systems, to put them in the accelerators which are present in each incubator, and finally to make their business plan, their BMC, to construct more the project or the idea. So we have a lot of 100 experts, 15 specialized coaches, and 100 scientific supervisors who are free coaching these rural women in our incubator. ESIAT also have a Hall of Technology. It has a Fab Lab, which is a project made from the career CATSI's Fab Lab for the Career Center, CATSI. So structures are all put in order to coach and to have prototypes, to have a pilot experience, to have to make the project of rural women innovative and more studied. So we have selected committees, and in the selected committees, we try to put with us representatives of banks, representatives of ministries, in order to sensibilize, to give the awareness of this administration of the needs of the rural women. The aspect of education we have a lot of type of education, and education are not basically innovative products. Now we are giving education in green economy, circular economy, labeling products, marketing studies. And we are, in these recent years, we are collaborating with CIHEAM Bari, and we are organizing the startup program 10. The objective is to encourage, to incentive the projects that have as objective sustainable products. Climate, who are adapted to climate change, who are dealing of irrigation. So it is a forum to orient projects to the new issues. And at the same time, we have 5 pilot test stations in each incubator. One of them is the extraction of essential oils with hormonal effects in the ESIAT. We have another experimental station to valorize fertilizers from natural products, hydroponics. So our objective is to go to new fields of sustainable farms. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. No, it's very, very interesting, this focus you made on incubators, food tech, startups. I think we can all be very inspired, and the results are very encouraging. What you are showing, for sure, it's the best way to attract young generation, women in these sectors. We know that in the Mediterranean region, the average of age of farmers is 57. with no renewal in terms of generation. So these kind of activities for sure support the sustainability of the agri-food sector. Thank you so much. Now, last but not least, I don't know, Auntie, you are online?
Yes,
Yes.
here,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah, so you will say a word to us. So you were supposed to be with us today, but I don't know if I can say it, but you are dealing with the water damage at home. So it's premeditated because you're going to speak to talk about water and governance of water, diplomacy water. So please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. It is actually a little bit ironic having a roof restoration because of water leakage. So it's, yes, it goes without saying. Thank you so much, Yasmine, and hello to everybody. Buenas tardes. Muchísimas gracias a los organizadores por la oportunidad de acompañarlos, aunque sea virtualmente. Mi intervención será en inglés. So once again, I would like to very warmly thank the organizers for this opportunity, even if I'm joining you virtually, unfortunately. It is a great pleasure to join the discussions, the exchanges, and be able to put together with all of you, maybe some ideas for next steps and specific actions. In my presentation, this is going to be very brief. It is really about explaining who we are and what we do. So let me, without any further delay, say that we are the Global Water Partnership. We are a multi-stakeholder action network dedicated to improving water governance and mobilizing climate-resilient investments for a sustainable and equitable future. We were founded back in 1996, and we consist of 13 independently managed regional water partnerships, 77 country water partnerships, and we have a network of more than 2,800 registered partners in 182 countries around the world. Through our regional and country water partnerships, we provide a neutral platform that connects stakeholders at all levels in order to develop and implement solutions for water security and climate resilience. The Mediterranean is one, apologies, going back to the slide, is one of the 13 regional water partnerships covering both shores of the Mediterranean and around, with emphasis on the non-EU member countries, so MENA region and the Balkans. We have been implementing thus far our 5-year strategy, which is in the process of being renewed and updated for the next 5 years. And the way that we drive change is through this triptych that you can see on the left-hand side. We mobilize, we act, we learn. So we mobilize stakeholders, we act on specific items, and we learn from those, having a feeding loop, getting us back to the mobilization. The way that we work is through 3 anchor and 3 cross-cutting areas that you can see on the right-hand side. So when talking about water solutions for the SDGs, is about assisting countries and regions to identify challenges in their water management frameworks through the SDG monitoring in order to turn those challenges to bankable opportunities and to access means of support to scale up achievements of their water-related SDGs. When talking about the climate resilience through water, is about mobilizing stakeholders at all levels in order to scale up resilience building investments in water management infrastructure, in institutions and governance, and information systems, including for flood and drought risk reduction. And transboundary, it's about working at the transboundary level in order to enhance cooperation and reduce conflict over shared water resources through multi-stakeholder dialogues in order to build consensus on the transboundary challenges, identify priority actions, and support institutional arrangements for sustainable cooperation. The 3 cross-cutting issues that you can see at the bottom, as they say, it's focusing horizontally across the different work lines on the mobilization of youth, on engaging the private sector, and of course, on working towards gender equality. Announced in February 2025, so very recently, a couple of months ago, the GWPO organization and the regional water partnerships, we have embarked on a new journey, if we can call it like this, on a global transformation agenda in order to accelerate and scale up the mobilization and deployment of climate resilient water investments. And our approach, as you can see over here, is through these specific actions, mobilizing high-level commitments, enhancing mutual accountability, developing capacity, mobilizing public-private finance, and last but not least, and most important, advancing gender equality in water. This is for the overall organization, and of course it applies, as you can imagine, for the regional water partnership that I come from the Mediterranean. Our mission is simply to advance governance and management of water resources for sustainable and equitable development in the Mediterranean. And the way we do this is by providing services to our beneficiaries through leadership activities and technical demo solutions. Just on a glimpse to see the spectrum and the beneficiary countries, the way that our constituency works is through 10 regional networks that are actually our founding members from different water-related disciplines. And this provides access to more than 650 institutions, organizations, and direct access to more than 100 individual organizations around the Mediterranean region. And over here you can see from the MENA region, from the Southeastern Europe region, and the EU, where we have been working, including prospective work that is marked in P. We anchor our activities on the main political institutions in the region. And the main political reference for us is the Union for the Mediterranean and the United Nations Environment Programme, the Mediterranean Action Plan. At the same time, we maintain very close linkages, synergies, and alignment with the work of the Regional Cooperation Council that is working in Southeastern Europe, with the League of Arab States, with the African Union, and the 5+5 for the Western Mediterranean. Just to show you in full transparency who have been our supporters since 2010, you can see in yellow highlight who have been the most recent ones. The important part to stress is that these are not only financial partners, but also strategic partners in the work that we do. So it is done in collaboration with synergy and making sure that everything is integrated within the work plans and the priorities of the beneficiaries, but at the same time within the wider framework of the policies at regional and, when applicable, global level. When it comes to the themes, a full alignment, of course, with what I shared with you when it comes to our strategy, just to highlight two items that we are servicing the global GWP hub since 2023 for transboundary water cooperation, and upcoming is the service to the global GWP hub on the technical solutions. Two selective highlights with some novelties. We have been working extensively on the WiFi Nexus, the water, energy, food ecosystem nexus that also His Excellency Mr. Stephen Borg mentioned in his opening remarks. Some of the highlights on what has been done to share is at the regional level, the drafting or providing assistance to the drafting of the WiFi Nexus strategy in the Mediterranean source to sea continuum, which is a document to be hopefully adopted in the upcoming UFM ministerial meeting on water in March 2026, and also to be adopted by the Barcelona Convention Conference of the Parties that is taking place at the end of this year. There has been a launching of a regional process on the WiFi Nexus digital transformation, which is also to be adopted during the upcoming UFM ministerial on water. There has been an advancement of a Nexus community of practice that I'm going to talk to you a little bit more later on in our discussion, and also the exploration of a work line that is dedicated on Wi-Fi nexus in Mediterranean islands. At the national level, just to highlight two very interesting lines of work with the assistance that we provided for the establishment and the function of a Wi-Fi nexus interministerial committee in Lebanon, and the development of a Wi-Fi nexus investment portfolio for the Assi River in Lebanon and the Tangiers-Tetuan region in Morocco. When it comes to the climate resilience, just to mention the development of, which is hopefully of use for more countries across the region, of the methodological guidelines for preparing a financial plan for climate change adaptation in coastal areas, which is to assist countries in accessing climate financing, and also an assessment of private sector engagement to catalyze financing for climate adaptation in the Mediterranean and integration of climate risks into investment planning, and a launching of a regional process on climate financing and private sector engagement. Nationally, there has been the launch of the African Water Investment Program, GCF Readiness in Morocco and Tunisia, and a GCF Readiness Program in Montenegro. Focusing on gender, just to highlight three lines of work. One concerning the initiative we have been leading together with the Geneva Water Hub since 2020 on empowering women in water diplomacy in the MENA region. We will have the chance to share with you some of the highlights that I think that you will find quite interesting. Also an initiative that has been launched about a year ago on gendering the Wi-Fi Nexus framework that is co-led by the UFM Secretariat, the Spanish Cooperation Agency, PRIMA, us, and Kautar, and also to draw the attention on an existing and operational community of practice on gender and water resources management under the IWRM Knowledge Hub of the Global Water Partnership. Hopefully in the discussions later on, I will have the chance to share with you some highlights from the initiative on empowering women in the MENA region and on gendering the Wi-Fi Nexus. And thank you so much for the opportunity once again to join you and hopefully work together with you on doing more things on towards gender equality. Thank you, Yasmine.
Thank you. Thank you, Auntie, for this very detailed presentation. I want to tell you that we can share to you all these PowerPoints if you need more information after. And thank you for this focus on water. It's complementary to all what we are talking about. I am a very bad moderator because we are very late. So I'm sorry, but I think we needed to hear all what you wanted to present. So I had many questions for you. I think I will only stick to one question for each of you. First, we will focus on the education part, and my first question will be to Dina. So we all identified really persistent gaps in access to quality education or vocational training for women. So Dina, from your experience, how can we rethink curricula to match the skills needed in today's green and digital economies?
Yeah, to talk about curricula, we need to think about the vocational training as it is done today and what would be the best way to do it. Usually vocational training is like a quick, short 5, 10, 20 days of training, and we found that it's not enough. Yeah, you need to give the basics and to follow up with the women or men, I mean young people in general, about what they learned, how they applied it, and then do another level of training, and they produce or practice and give them feedback, do the coaching part, and so we need to put that in the curricula to make it not just one shot of training, to do it in several steps, and also to do the mentorship with it, not just the training. And for green economies, it's a new subject, so we need really to have that people understand what does it mean, how can it reflect in their local projects, and how to maybe they are doing it and they don't know that they are following the concepts of green economy, and so we need to really be to have this discussion with the women or the young people who we're integrating with, and also to not just to train the women or the young people, but also to build awareness of the community about those new concepts. So it's not just the direct group, but also their families, maybe their husband of the women, and because sometimes the challenge is that for the husband or the father of the girl to understand why should he send his wife or his girl to a training. So that's especially if it is, because professional training usually is not in the local villages. She has to travel to go to the city, or even to all the way to Cairo to have the training, or to even if we have it in the closest city, she has to travel back and forth. So that's one thing to consider also, is the challenges that women and girls have at the family level also.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we need to think with the ecosystem. Yes. And of course the husbands, the family is the stakeholder that you can't avoid to include. Thank you. My other question is to Margarita. Margarita, you still online?
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you. So I will have a question really dedicated to the roles of universities. So how can agricultural universities in the region better connect training with local labor markets demands? So an easy question, how you connect training, education, and employability.
Okay, it's a good question. And okay, before talking about what universities can do, or what universities are doing, I want to say that we need to start earlier. From early education, childhood and primary schools, for example, students should learn more about the importance of the agrarian sector, the job opportunities for both men and women, the new technologies, the innovation, and the sustainable practice in this sector. And then from the university side, it's very important to work closer to the territory and with local actors, farmers, rural women's associations, cooperatives, public administrations, and so on. And this should happen in both teaching and research. In this sense, participatory methods like the living labs that we are using in Brazilian project are very, very useful. And in these living labs, researchers and students work together with local people to solve real problems. And it is important to build strong networks between universities and other local organizations like associations, women's groups, or local development agencies. Other possible way to work is, for example, universities can design flexible and short training for employment, not only the typical degrees, but other type of training, for example, in the University of Valladolid and in other Spanish universities. We are offering something called micro-credentials that are short and specific training to update knowledge, and people can take it even they don't have a university degree. So this type of training is especially useful for women, for rural women with family responsibilities, and for those who are living in remote rural areas. And I think also it's essential to include content in university courses about gender equality and female leadership in the sector. Showing the contribution of rural women and offering training and leadership training in leadership, in management, and in negotiation, for example, helps break stereotypes and gives visibility to female role models in agriculture, give visibility to women farmers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think we all agree. We're aligned with your proposal. And what is also important, and it's the case in diverse domains and topics, it's learning to stop working in silos. It's compulsory. It's a culture. It's a new culture of work that we need to have. And it's not universities and business or administration don't want to work together. It's just that they're not so used to work together, and it's important to have these kind of platforms where these different stakeholders can discuss and develop and find co-solutions to issues, for sure. Thank you very much, Margarita. I have another question for you, Sonia. So how does your work in the Agri-food tech and the 4C Center really concretely support women-led initiatives or entrepreneurship? You mentioned some of the projects, but if you want to deepen and to give more details, we would be more than happy.
Thank you for this question. As I said before, the particularity in our incubator is to create a connection, a platform. And the objective is to collaborate with experts, with administration, with banks, to offer all the services that rural women hosted in the incubator needs, because by themselves it is very difficult to access to a bank, to have a paper. And in Tunisia, we know that there is a problem of administrative procedures. When we will have a project, we pass many time preparing so all what we need for these projects. And the incubator facilitate all these procedures. So the first service is to facilitate procedures and to bring the administration to the incubator. So the rural women don't go, and the other time administration went around to us and heard the projects, the ideas. When they are financing these projects, the idea is spoken. The banks are present in the commission selection committees. So it is an innovation. At the same time, we try in yearly, in each, we have a yearly employment forum held in ESIAT, and the objective is to invite success stories from the incubator to present their projects. So these success stories convince young students to make projects, to follow these examples, because when we see a rural woman or a rural engineer, which is from higher higher education graduated in the rural area, they give him solution, and they give him models to follow their projects. CATSI offer skills, soft skills, offer leadership education, because these women have a problem to present themselves, to have marketing of themselves, to present their project, and so CATSI offer this possibility to complete this need of education of rural women, and we see that after having this type of education, they can benefit of loans, of grants to make their projects. And at the same time, we have from CATSI, as I say, Fab Lab. Fab Lab, they can prepare their prototype. They can prepare their products at ESIAT. So when they go to present their projects, they have the product, an échantillon of their conserve, or, for example, a new product, and it is they give them more confidence in themselves. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's the communication girl who will speak, but yeah, for sure you can have the best projects in the world if you don't know how to say the story, if you don't know how to pitch, if you haven't been formed to pitch correctly, and to adapt your presentation to donors, to potential partners, to administration, you cannot succeed. So it is very important to add this dimension, and thank you for doing this.
Also, I want to add another information that now in Tunisia we have another structure, which is an entrepreneur student. It is a structure which is a peak pole of étudiants entrepreneurs of Carthage. The objective is all the students, not all the students, that student can be prepared to be an entrepreneur while he is studying. So it can have two certificates in the end of this of its training, the diploma and the diploma of entrepreneurship education.
Thank you. It's essential, and to have this kind of evolution in terms of external training, and put together worlds that usually don't connect. Thank you, Sonia. My last question will be to Auntie. You are with us?
Of course.
Do you hear us?
Yes, very well.
Oh, yeah, but because we don't hear you very well, that's why I'm asking.
Okay. Can you hear me well now?
Yeah, if you could speak a little bit louder.
Okay. Everything is in full mode. I hope you can hear me. Is it okay or not?
Yeah, it's better. It's better. Thank you, Auntie. Yeah. So my question is, water is central to rural livelihoods. How can water-related innovation and governance support women's leadership and in the Mediterranean?
Thank you, Yasmine. Water is indeed central to all livelihoods, in fact. And I think that we're all witnessing how cumbersome and difficult this is becoming in our region, because along with everything else, all the other challenges, we are affected quite prominently by climate change, warming up at 20% faster rate than the global average. And our region being the second most affected region after Africa, suffering from desertification, where women are disproportionately affected. So a very glimpse, let's say, situation. When talking about gender inequality in the different sectors, it is we often find ourselves identifying different challenges, different obstacles, different issues that prevent women from doing so. And very often we come back to the whole issue of policy and governance and what more can be done in order to support women's not only participation, but leadership, to take more active roles in leadership, in decision and policy making around the Mediterranean and across sectors. I also need to highlight. So it's not only about water, but overall. Initially, I had planned, to share with you highlights from two different lines of work, but for the benefit of time, let me share with you some very interesting, let's say, insights from work that we have been doing as part of this initiative on empowering women in water diplomacy. And let me clarify here that when talking about water diplomacy, the details of that can be easily they're applicable very easily across sectors. So whether we're talking about water, whether we're talking about energy, food, ecosystems, we find that the challenges women are facing when trying to attain leadership positions are actually the same or very, very similar, not the least to mention. So we, together with 5 other actually, the other 5 prominent women leaders from the MENA region, we were trying to identify what is holding women, back. And we often hear that it's about education or more training or more capacity building and so on. In the work that we did, that is, I will share the related links with everybody and of course the documents and everything that we have available. We found that perhaps this is not the main problem. Allow me to just share. It's just easier to share the graphs, when talking. So I'm not going to get into the details, but this is the work that we did on this initiative on empowering women in water diplomacy, and this involved technical work in 5 Arab countries. Namely Egypt, Morocco, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine. And as we can see here, we involved almost 100 women across the 5 countries, across water organizations, so from across the water sector. And these were not women without any experience or with low qualifications. These were actually middle to senior management holders with many years of experience in the sector. So when we were asked them, what are the factors that are holding, what are contributing to this male-female ratio at the workplace, what they identified was actually the male-dominant society, the quota that are implemented. They identified the lack of policy frameworks and the lack of legal frameworks, which touches upon exactly what you asked Yasmine about the governance framework, and also indicated on female negative perceptions and to a less extent to the lack of female expertise. So having a solid a governance framework that supports the participation and the rising of women to more leadership position, offering the opportunities and the chances is something very significant. And then when asked them, what are the factors that influence the acceptance of a decision-making position? And these are women that have been involved in negotiations. These are women that have been involved in a high-level ranking in ministries of water, in negotiation units, and so on. It was quite astonishing for us to see that the lack of confidence and the fear, as well as the lack of support from peers and the lack of opportunity, figured quite prominently. Motherhood was also mentioned by some of them, and the lack of comprehensive skills. These are specific skills linked to negotiations. But the lack of confidence and the lack of support was actually quite strong. Let me not get into this, about the the water diplomacy positions. Just to highlight that for us, working with these women across the 5 Arab countries and listening to them, saying that yes, well, we do have the qualifications, the experience, but we lack the confidence, in order to access or claim leadership positions, was quite telling. So what we're talking about here is actually having a paradigm shift and trying to be able to move beyond the gender stereotypes and the biases within and and across people, but maybe to start from our own self and be able to support ourselves and each other in claiming more leadership positions, more decision-making positions, being more active, and truly claiming, our seat on the negotiation table. So we just found that, and also that this, as I mentioned at the beginning, that this line of work is not only relevant to water. So yes, we're talking about water governance, but it has equal application and implementability also when talking about food, about energy, about the environment. So if you allow me to say that across the WIFI Nexus framework, the water, energy, food ecosystem, so women effectively need to be empowered to be equal partners in the policy decision-making processes, starting from within. Sorry for insisting on that, but it is so often that we see women staying on the sidelines of discussions, of roundtables, of negotiations, not because they don't have the skills or the experience, but because they feel that they're not equal, to the others being around the table. And I'm not saying this to promote a victimized image of women. On the contrary, we should not be presented like that. It's just about really believing in ourselves and claiming more, because we can do more. Thank you very much, Yasmine.
No, thank you.
And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Auntie. I've been asked to conclude because we are very late, but I couldn't. It's so passionate in what you're saying and the points you're highlighting. So thank you so much. We have 10 minutes for the end. We can open the floor to questions. Yeah, Anna.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you very much. And first thing, congratulations for all the initiative that you have been presenting here, and also to Margarita. I mean, Auntie, I know very well the project, so I don't need to tell this. I have a question to Dina, and then I have a comment for the Tunisian project. For Dina, in your slide, you mentioned about the fact that you are supporting women to develop their capacity to get into the market. So doing marketing and reaching market and so on. And you mentioned both local and international markets, but they are totally different frameworks. And there are different challenges when you are thinking about local market or regional market and you have to go to the international. For different reasons, because you have different size of challenges, because you need to fill in specific international standards that maybe are not the same that you could apply local level, because you need the access to network, because otherwise the risk of failure is too high, and so on. So how you are managing this kind of challenge when you think about women, especially in Upper Egypt, which are not the one in Cairo, that we are not the one in the big metropolitan areas and so on. There is additional layers of challenge, in my opinion, to take into account. And for the project in Tunisia, because you mentioned something that is often mentioned when you speak about this mismatch between skills and labor market, because Tunisia is always mentioned as one of the countries where you have the highest rate of women, graduating engineering being women. And then you have the employment rate and you don't understand what you missed in the between. Now, you are using these incubators opportunity to, let's say, reduce this mismatch, but from an entrepreneurial point of view. Now, my question is, when you are working with women engineers, we always say that let's say, in the MENA countries, women become entrepreneurs because they have to, not for their choice. Is it still true or not? Because when I speak with women entrepreneurs from all the region, the answer is it's not true. I mean, it's part of the truth, but it's not the only reason. And because we want to, let's say, to have an impact in our local community, because we want to bring innovation, to bring change and so on. So in case of Tunisia, this is still valid, or you are witnessing a change in the mindset? They are more interested in the entrepreneurial career and not in having access to the labor market for choice and not for necessity. Sorry, too long. Thank you.
Very difficult question. Yeah. Basically, we work with many women to improve their access to the local markets. And that's linking them to local exhibitions and how to market the products online, to create this Facebook page, or to create the online social media to market to not just to the community, the village, but also to reach out for outside the village. And that's another level of how to market their products. Mainly we work in handicrafts, and that's our expertise, I mean. But also we have worked with women for several years, not just one project, it's several years, to reach the high quality of handicraft products. We hold an annual exhibition where we invite all the international community in Cairo to come and see, and also take part in exhibitions like national exhibitions like Turathna, where all the Egyptians and foreign people visit. So that's another level of handicraft marketing. We have a partner who is doing the product development training, who is already on an international handicraft committee and several international handicraft committees. So he's trying to help those women understand what is the international market. Of course, only a few reach out to that international market, as you said, but the standards, the quality, the colors, the use of cotton and the use of sustainable ways of dyeing the cotton and using. So it's a whole process, not just a one-time project. It cannot be a one-time project. I mean, the handicraft project I'm talking about, it started in the early 60s with very volunteer international trainers going there and living with the women, training them. And now through generations of older women, more younger women are trying to learn the skill and the art of expressing their art on the cloth by the cross stitching or the needlework. So it is a long process. It's not just one time. Yeah.
Thank you, Dina. So I understand that we have to close at 6. So 5 minutes, okay. So if we can have a really short answer and perhaps another question.
Thank you for the question because it's very interesting. If we see statistics, and it is very problematic because when we see a high level of female students, but a high level of unemployment. We see employment in secondary level, it's lower than unemployment in higher level. Why? Because generally we speak with our students, with engineers, generally they went to work in public sector. It is it's for there it's more it gives them more security. But now in Tunisia the public sector is saturated. All the statistics shows that it's impossible to create more employment in administration or in agricultural ministry. So we changed the education to include courses, for example, for entrepreneurship culture, entrepreneurship projects, masters of innovative projects. It's an obligation to change the spirit of students to go to create their proper projects, because the problem of and we have unemployment of doctorate level, and we are orienting them to create a project which must the result of their thesis. Why not to create a project? So it isn't a choice, it's obligation for Tunisia. It's really something that we are going, and we put a lot of structures, a lot of mechanisms, a lot of new systems to go in this direction. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you, because I was negotiating 2 questions. So please, yes. Dina.
Okay. So very quickly, thanks a lot, everyone. My question is for Dina and Anti. Dina, have you thought about working with young men? Because you have an opportunity in the schools. You have a lot of engagement. And thanks for stressing the importance of mentoring rather than an one-off training. And for Anti, I think we would have a very different stats if we were looking at nursing. So have you thought about how water is very strongly tied to masculinity, and what can we do with that? You know, like addressing these, you know, hidden power dynamics for strengthening women's participation in representation and decision-making. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's another question, we can collect, and then we will have short answers. See?
You can follow with the question.
Sí, muchas gracias. Gracias, presidenta. Muy rápidamente. La primera pregunta va dirigida a Margarita Rico. Ella ha expuesto desde el mundo académico la realidad social de las mujeres rurales en el mundo cooperativo, en la toma de decisión. Pero a mí me gustaría hacerte una pregunta, querida académica, que nos conocemos hace muchos años. Creo que las mujeres rurales en España hemos hecho una revolución social desde el feminismo rural, con la incorporación de las mujeres, muchas de ellas, a la toma de decisión. Y sobre todo, yo he creado en AFAMER, creo una cátedra Mujer, Empleo y Desarrollo Rural en la Universidad de Castilla-La Mancha, que está trabajando sobre el liderazgo del empleo de las mujeres rurales. Me gustaría que me hicieras una pequeña radiografía de 5 minutos a esta pregunta que te he hecho. Y ha sido un placer saludarte desde la distancia. Por lo tanto, bienvenida, querida catedrática. Al resto, felicidades por su intervención, pero a nuestra amiga Dina me gustaría decirte, en el mes de abril participé en el Congreso Internacional de Turismo en Egipto, en el Cairo, donde desde la Universidad Complutense de Madrid, la Universidad de Castilla-La Mancha, el Instituto del Monte Sinaí, el Instituto Cervantes, estuvimos estudiando durante 3 días con grandes ponentes y profesionales lo importante que es el liderazgo de las mujeres rurales en el turismo. Se presentó un proyecto que a mí me pareció apasionante, que fue el proyecto de hacer el camino de la Sagrada Familia desde Belén hasta Egipto, pasando por el monte Sinaí, comparado con el Camino de Santiago. ¿Por qué cuento esto? Porque el Camino de Santiago, muchas de las casas de turismo rural están lideradas por mujeres rurales gracias a la formación que AFAMER les ha dado durante todos estos años, y puedo poner, y así fue como puse de ejemplo en el Congreso Internacional de Turismo en el Cairo, que el 56% de las casas de turismo rural en España las dirigen las mujeres rurales. Quiero preguntarle, Dina, ¿es posible, primero, cómo está la situación del turismo rural en Egipto, que son ustedes un país junto con España y otros países del mundo que lidera el turismo internacional? Y por otra parte, ¿es posible que alguna vez se vea hecho realidad ese camino del Camino de la Sagrada Familia en su ida a Egipto? Nada más. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for these very interesting questions. I'm afraid we can't take any more questions, but and it would be very hard for the panelists to answer because we don't have we have 5 minutes for all the answers. Okay, and then we have to leave the place. Okay, so please, Dina, you have 2 questions, and then Sonia and online.
I'll try to be brief. Yes, we work at schools with the young boys as well in understanding what are gender concepts, what are the rights, equal rights of boys and girls. البنت زي الولد is an initiative that we have in many of our primary schools, and with the young people in the culture centers. That's the women rights and the equal rights of to practice arts and culture and singing and dancing, which is not very common in Upper Egypt, especially in the villages, and that's we try to promote through activities of young people as well. Good points. Very good point. Yes, the Holy Family tour in Egypt is a new tourism, international tourism. It is a local tourism route that many people go on. But yes, women can play a bigger role in that. They already have the handicraft part where they produce a lot of very authentic handicraft products, but also they can be in the service sector. We already train young people in the culinary sector, so they can also have like local authentic Egyptian dishes to tourists, provided to tourists. For example, local guides, we have many local guides, women.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
to be
you, Dina. Sonia, very quickly, very short. And we have online also, but very short answers.
I want to give another point which is important, that in agronomic education, students majority came from regions, because students in urban regions prefer new technologies, informatic. So they are not interested by agricultural studies. And we try to, and these students try to improve their regions. They have them in their spirit. How can I give something to my region after my diploma? And in the incubators, we give priority and grants and incentives when the project is related with the region of the student. So it is a manner to incubator participate to the territorial development.
Right.
So it is another point that I want to edit.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Just for the question online, we're only 5 minutes late. Yeah, usually we have the conference much more delay. Oh, sorry. Just the answer online. Margarita, very quickly, and Auntie in 2 words.
Thank you, thank you. Carmen, encantada de saludarte, aunque sea en la distancia. Creo que tienes el traductor, así que si os parece voy a contestar en inglés. Well, about the situation of women in the innovation processes and in leadership, it's much better now than in other times, but unfortunately it's not good. Or it's not enough good. This is a topic that we have worked a lot in grass sealing, and our results say that there are so many barriers still to solve. Some of them are structural and related to deep cultural problems, stereotypes and lack of visibility, like I said before. Others are related to the rural areas. Their territory is very depopulated, aging, with fewer and fewer basic services. The agricultural sector also has important limitations, like market instability, high investment costs, expensive inputs, and the problems to access to land. And also legal and political factors make things more difficult for women. For example, more and more bureaucracy, some rules that don't make sense in any territories or in any size of the enterprises. And the CAP is not solving nowadays the real problems of the sector. So I don't like to finish with this bad mood, because there are so many problems, but I think it's the real situation.
Thank you, Margarita. Boy, you're talking about reality. And the last word is for Auntie, and then we will do the wrap up. No, I'm joking. Auntie, it's fair. You have the answer.
Thank you very, very, very briefly. Thank you so much for the question. Just to maybe specify that in the water sector as such is not male dominated. It's there is participation of both. What is astonishing is that the leadership positions in decision making and negotiation positions, also when considering transboundary cooperation settings, this is where there is lack of women, and it's quite it's eye-catching. And this is what we try to understand with this line of work that I briefly shared with all. Just to understand what are the obstacles for not having more women, although women have both the qualifications and the professional experience. So yes, looking into other sectors can actually draw some important lessons. Also looking and getting even more the feeling and the reflections from women that are in such positions is important, but also working with men, not only to sensitize them, but also to understand what are the interrelations and how we can overcome this obstacle and make sure that you have more women in those leadership positions, empowering them to do so. So thank you, very much noted. Hopefully having, more results in the future.
Thank you very much, Auntie. So I think we're going to close the session now, but of course we can discuss and we can deepen all this after and tomorrow. Thank you very much, and thank you for your patience.